Okay, so I have a lot of things to say about Ashes of Creation, most importantly about their recent Steam early access release, but it mostly comes down to the fact that I don't think that this game will ever see the light of day, and even if it will, it won't be as good as we were promised. I think there are a lot of shady things going in the background, a lot of obfuscation, and a lot of issues we're not being made aware of. Now, apparently this guy is very well connected, including to Steven himself, and he knows a lot about the stuff that goes behind the scenes. So I'm very interested in hearing what he has to say.
Okay, what up, friendos? Welcome back. We're talking today about Ashes of Creation. This is a topic that's long overdue. There's some news here that's going to tie everything together, but specifically, I recorded a video about Ashes and Steven's reputation and some things I wanted to clear up on my
You went for
opinion
the
on
king.
Ashes in general about 2 months ago. And I meant to release it, but originally I sent it to Steven to be like,
What?
these are some very serious things I'm talking about. Have a look at it. Tell me if there's anything you think is objectively, factually untrue.
Bro, you made a video criticizing the founder of Ashes of Creation and you sent it to him for an inspection? Oh my god, this is exactly why I always say that content creators shouldn't entangle themselves with video game companies. This just leads to the most biased opinions and just a worse, like a really worse sphere of journalism. Well, I guess you can't really consider himself like a journalist, right? But you should be able to criticize freely any company. And I mean, I just hate it, man. It's just so weird to me.
Tell me
I
if
mean,
you
I understand why people are doing this. There's a lot of incentive of doing so, but I mean, I still think that this is off. It shouldn't be the case.
have any comment on this that you want to get out into the public and things of that nature. And when I got his notes back, we had a conversation, and I just never got around to like re-editing the video to include all of his stuff. And
So he used a lot of lying, manipulation, and obfuscation, and you just end up deciding that it's not worth making this video. That's pretty much what I think this guy is trying to say.
I just
Bottom
figured, why bother, right? I don't really have anything to do with Ashes anymore, and there's nothing really relevant going on right now other than a little bit of drama in the community. So I'll just not get involved. I'll just leave it as is. But since it is popular today to talk about Ashes of Creation due to the news that just came out, I think
People are finally waking up. They're looking for Morpheus, brother. You already know which pill they're going to take. And my god, it's not gonna end well.
figured let's do that video again and let's talk about it, because I am kind of sick of the narrative on social media being so slanted in one direction or another. Nobody doing any fact checking, everyone just repeating what.
To be fair, that's almost the case with any video game whatsoever. Whenever you go to social media for an opinion, you know you're bound to see some grifters on both sides.
Ever they want to believe, and then other people upvoting them and spreading these lies or these rumors or denying things that are objectively true. So I figured I'd come in, bring the receipts, tell you exactly what the case is, and then you can make your own determination instead of listening to people on social media who have a reason to lie or have a reason to misrepresent.
Imagine only getting your information from Reddit. What a time to be alive, huh? What a life to live.
Things.
God.
So the news here is that Ashes of Creation is releasing on Steam Early Access on December 11th, 2025.
It's coming soon,
so
guys.
next month.
It's ready.
I don't think this is a good idea. We're going to specifically go over this, as well as why I don't think it's a good idea, a little bit later in the video. But first, I want to talk about people's reaction to this and the general idea of who Steven is and what Steven has done.
I'll move myself up a bit so you guys
because
can
people
see.
are of the opinion that Steven is the worst person on the planet and he's a piece of shit scammer who essentially went to people having chemotherapy for cancer and tried to sell them a miracle drug, like the classic snake oil salesman just preying on the weak and ruining people's lives. And that didn't happen. And I think some people posting this, if you were a public figure, you'd be getting sued, rightfully so, because you're saying some crazy shit with no fucking fact checking whatsoever.
To be fair, I don't think that's the case also. I think that Steven is a really good MMORPG player. Clearly, if you know anything about him, is a hardcore, sweaty MMORPG player, like world first, top guilds, all that stuff. Now, I don't think that being a good player makes you a good game director. And when you decide the direction which a game is supposed to go in, you have a very biased opinion as a player because obviously you're gonna make a game that you love to play. No, the problem is that the game that you love to play might not be the thing everyone else want to play. So, for example, Steven is in the top, like what, 10% of players that actually like all the top 1% hardcore stuff, right? And then you have like the outside, which is the casual player base that just like to chill, read a story, whatever, which they're also a minority. What you need to aim for as a game director is the players that are in the 70 or 80% in between. That's the golden amount of player you need to have for the game, right? This is where you need to aim for. This should be your mark. Now, with Steven, I think that his vision is obviously skewed, and you can see that from the recent Ashes of Creation updates as well. I think the whole guilds dominating certain territory stuff is very cringe, and it will kill the game as fast as it will release. And I don't think that is a general direction to go for, because Steven really likes those big guilds battle, but in reality what ends up happening is that one guild dominate a certain area and everyone else joins that guild, and that's pretty much it. And it's like you've done nothing. So I really don't like this game design and philosophy Steven has on some of the things in the game, but I do like his vision about other things like social aspects and all that interaction stuff. I do really like that. So once again, clearly, it's not one side or the other that is right or wrong. Both are wrong and both are right at the same time. So you can't go to the extreme and hope to get a really serious, comment.
But also, there are people on the other side that are saying Steven did nothing at all, ever. Steven's the best person. Steven has addressed this. All he did was this little thing, and it's not a big deal. So let's actually get into the reality of things, shall we?
Okay, so I saved you some time and I skipped a little bit ahead. The reason is basically all he was talking about is how Redditors take the fact that Steven used to work for this really shady, scummy company back in the day, and that must mean that Ashes of Creation is 100% a scam, which is obviously not true, right? That's an extreme case scenario. Now, you can definitely make this conclusion because usually in life, one thing leads to another. I'm not taking away from that, but I like to see what's in front of me, focus on that, and draw conclusion from there. So for example, I won't look into Steven like past or something. I'll going to look at the game cycle, at the recent development update, right? And I'm gonna draw my conclusions from there. So with that in mind, let's just go back to talking about the game itself.
Now, obviously, the problem is that Ashes of Creation is not ready to release, right? We know this. That's why it's coming to early access. That's why this game is saying, don't buy this unless you want to test the game. The game's still in alpha.
Of course.
Blah, blah, blah. But the problem is this game is going to operate as if it's a released game, as if this is a live launch of a product. How do we know this? Well, because they've confirmed that, number one, they're lowering the price, by the way, according to this anyway. This shows that the price is going to be $49.99 on Steam. There's going to be...
Bro, that's crazy. You're going to ask people for more money for testing? That is wild. I remember the times when we used to pay people to test our games, right? It wasn't the other way around. It is so lame. I just hate that. But most importantly, I just hate the people who pay for it. You pay to be a video game tester. That is... get a job. Do literally anything else. Stop believing that you owe something to some company that doesn't care about you. This is weird.
1 month game time included. When the game
That's
launches,
how we end up with
launches.
companies like Blizzard.
They're going to have a sale from the 11th to the 25th for 15% off, so you can get it for the low price of $42.99 for the unfinished, maybe never finished MMO. And also, they're going to have a rotated cosmetic item store. So this alpha for a game that was kickstarted.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
When was this? This was kickstarted in 2017. So
feeling old yet? Man, I remember when it was on Kickstarter, and my friends and I at the time were like, oh my god, in 3 years, or like maybe slightly more, we're gonna play this game. I'm gonna be a tank, I'm gonna be a damage dealer, I'm going to heal. You know what happened to these friends now? One of them is married and the other one is just, I don't know, buried in work. So yeah, it's super funny to see that none of us will ever be able to play this game again. But we talked about it back in the day. This is actually hilarious. I'm the only one left.
8 years ago, this game was kickstarted, and now they're going to early access for $40, and we'll have a cash shop in the game.
What?
For an alpha early access game. This is a released product, guys.
Oh my god. You gonna take their money and offer an in-game cash shop as well? Wow. Okay, I actually needed like a minute to process this. Holy dude.
This is the launch of the game. Like, you can disagree with me.
This is
insane.
insane.
It's still an alpha because they're saying it's an alpha. The minute you start selling the game for a box price with fucking a cosmetic cash shop built into the game that they're going to be...
I've processed it. I had enough, dude. I literally had enough. When it became acceptable for us to pay $50 for a game and still have an in-game shop and still not have a fully released product, man, we have truly lost our ways. And as a player, we have lost every single ounce of respect we had from the company, and we just took it. This is insane. We need to reclaim back what is right. We need to make sure that we vote with our wallet, that companies don't get our money unless they absolutely deserve to. And we just need to make better decisions because this has gotten out of hand. I can't believe that Ashes of Creation allows itself to take such a price from you after taking so much until now and still have an in-game shop. That is, to me, insanity. Absolutely ridiculous. This is peak buffoonery behavior. My god.
Editing and adding to, you've released a live service game. It's launched. That's it. Like,
imagine if you're playing it and the connection is bad and stuttering all over the place. That would truly be the cream of the crop. Like, this would literally be the cherry on top. It will be perfect.
No more kid gloves. No more, oh, it's an alpha, guys. This is a launched game. I'm very comfortable saying that. You can completely disagree with me, but this is functioning like a launched product would do. Only when it's fully finished, then you've got...
The moment you take money from people on Steam, that is a launched release. You cannot argue with that. If you're trying to argue with that, you are coping hard, and you should never express your opinion online. That's literally what I'm thinking. He is 100% right, and I can't see how anyone disagrees with it, honestly.
Pay a sub as well. Like, so just more monetization. It's just an extra step of monetization that marks it being released, other than more content, obviously, and more polish, presumably. I don't know why they're doing this. As far as I can tell, they're not struggling for money because the company isn't laying off employees. They're not, like, downsizing. They appear to still be hiring.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're doing this because of, like, marketing or whatever, but I've been told they're doing it because they want more testers, which makes no fucking sense.
They want
I said
more
this
money.
last time. They said, oh, we're selling the alpha now for fucking $100 or $125 or whatever it was.
What?
And they're doing it now because they want more testers. And my point was, like, if you want more testers, fucking open the game up for free.
Yeah.
And you
Make
will
it
get more
open.
testers. And I was...
Literally, Deadlock has done the exact same thing. Deadlock has been one of the most popular games for a really small period of time when it was, like, revealed, and it was revealed by mistake. It wasn't even supposed to be revealed, but then Valve saw this opportunity and went like, okay, we're gonna release this game to the public so we can have more testers, and we're not gonna, like, take any prices, we're not gonna have any cosmetics whatsoever. You don't have a battle pass in the game. You literally just play the game for free. And that's why Valve is so highly trusted by the people, because they are willing to lose money for people to test their games for free. And they do all the changes, they pay all the developers, they do all of that out of their own pocket. So I find it so weird that Ashes won't do the same thing. You have taken so much money until now, and I do understand that this is an MMORPG and they are the most costly games to make. I understand that fully. But you don't lack the funds. You have them. You have the financial means to do all of these things. And on top of that, if you're so desperate for money, then just make the right decisions and release the game. How the hell the game isn't finished? Something is wrong with your development cycle. You can't be this slow. Now, I'm not saying that you should have a rushed product, but clearly something isn't working. So you need to fix that.
Told ad nauseum repeatedly by fans, fans of the game, that opening the game up for free would be bad because the cheaper the game is, the more likely you get bad testers or testers that won't commit to the game.
You don't want the poor testers inside the game. You want the high-valued whales. Oh my god, that is the most hilarious take I've heard in a while.
But now they're selling the game for $40.
If you're poor, stay away.
With a cash shop. And these apparently, for much less money, are not going to be lower quality testers. I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of contradictions here. There's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Base stage.
That being said, this is going to be a nightmare. Like, this game is going to get absolutely fucked into the ground by negative reviews. Rightfully so, because it's an alpha for a game that's been in development for 8+ years, charging money that for like a AAA game almost. Obviously, a lot of AAA games now are like $60-$70. But then also with a cosmetic cash shop in a completely unfinished game, it's absolutely not ready for mass market.
And you know what's the funny thing about it? Is that a lot of players would do that. They will pay. You know it, I know it. It is literally inevitable. And what can we do? What can we do but point and laugh at them? Literally nothing. You can't reason with them. You can't try to convince them. So there is nothing you can do about it. It will get massively negative reviews. I do agree with that. But for the most part, I don't think it matters. I truly don't.
Gameplay. And I think this is going to hurt the project long term.
They're not going to change how they operate.
Rightfully so, put a lot of negative reviews on this and talk about it being a scam. And people are then going to look it up. And they're going to see comments like this calling Stephen Sharif a fucking snake oil salesman scammer. And I think it's going to be bad. And you can tell it's going to be bad because even in the Ashes of Creation community, people are upset about this. The predominant, like, prevailing sentiment is, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why are they doing this? Is there money problems? Are they trying to, like, hoodwink people? Are they trying to get the New World population in here to earn some extra cheddar? What's going on? Because the game's absolutely not ready. Like, if the fans of the game, these are the biggest hardcore fans of the game, are saying this, it's a problem. And it seems like one that's kind of popped up out of nowhere. Like, people only found out about this.
And you will never see Steven comment on that. That's what makes me the most angry about this entire thing. Because Steven is really good at communicating and commenting on the stuff that he finds, appealing. And he never responds to criticism. Only the most light criticism ever, he will respond to that. And you can clearly tell that he'll be super pissed about it too. But to the most crucial criticism ever, like, why the hell are you taking money from us again and you have an in-game shop, he will never talk about this. And you know it. This is the most annoying part here, is the lack of transparency when it matters.
In the studio, apparently, a couple of weeks ago. So people are saying they're out of money. This is one last cash grab. I don't think that's what it is. I think they are, and always have, by the way. Steven is a shrewd businessman. I said this years ago. I didn't like the taste in my mouth when Steven was like, there was a big conversation around MMOs being dead and dying and games being cancelled and the genre's in a bad spot. And then Steven showed up and started going on the live stream of every big content creator and saying all the right things and getting a bunch of people hyped and involved in the game. He was an Asmongold stream, Shroud stream,
I remember
stream.
that.
Like, he was talking to all these creators and getting this massive hype train rolling for a game that people shouldn't be hyped for until much later in development. Like, people shouldn't have been giving this game $500 for alpha keys.
Exactly.
People shouldn't have been buying the many thousands of dollars of cosmetics for this game
100%.
that's not finished yet. This is not a thing people should have been doing.
He's cooking.
In my opinion, in my mind. Especially because Steven said repeatedly, I'm fully funding the project myself 100%. I don't even need your money.
Exactly. He said this so many times, and people are still willing to throw their wallet on his game. That's what I find so odd. Like, why? If you're so capable of funding the game, why do you take so much money from your people? I mean, from the players, right? Like, why? Why? What's coming out of that? That is so odd. Like, even for marketing, I don't think you need that much money. So I truly don't understand what the hell is going on there.
And yet goes out of his way to sell a bunch of like FOMO cosmetics, and now a cash shop in a fucking unreleased game on well, technically released, and in my mind completely. I'm going to treat this game as if it's done, by the way. Like, I'm going to cover the
Ooh.
game when it goes onto early access on Steam, and I'm going to treat it like a fully released game.
Absolutely,
Why am I
that's
gonna
what you should do.
Because it fucking is at this stage. If you're selling cosmetics in your live service game,
Yep.
I'm going to treat your game as if it's done, and I'm going to review it without the fucking kid gloves of, oh, it's still an alpha. No, it's a paid product that you're charging people for that you're monetizing, and that's how everybody should look at it. But yeah, there's a million and one problems with this, and I stopped covering this game because I'm so not arsed with following something for fucking 8+ years, and it's still like 3, 4, 5 years away from being finished in my opinion,
Yep.
if it ever even gets there. And I know for a fact Steven takes this time.
It's so funny. He's saying the exact same thing that I said in yesterday MMORPG video. Like, this game is going to be released probably 4 or 5 years from now, and it's going to be so bad. I can already tell with the way their recent development updates went. I mean, I watched like some of them, and I recently updated myself on the most recent one. It just looked horrible. If you've seen the summoner class that they recently revealed, it looks like garbage. Straight up, it looks like it barely functions, and it's being held by sticks and stones. Like, glued together, and that's pretty much it. Nothing works, and the game is so laggy and choppy. I can't believe they have been in development cycle for almost 10 years at this point, and this is what they've created. It is truly baffling to me, considering the fact that nowadays we see more and more indie game developers creating big projects on their own, using Unreal Engine 5, the same engine that Ashes of Creation uses. So it's really odd for me how one person can create like massive castles, functioning characters with animations and attack and moves and all of that, and Ashes of Creation still struggles to do the most basic of ideas. I mean, it's just weird.
For criticism to heart, and he doesn't like it, and I agree with him. It's not nice, right? When people make videos like this, when people on social media are talking about you like this, I think the timing of releasing this on Steam is probably to capitalize on the New World stuff and all the recent MMO cancellations to make money.
Oh,
I think
God.
that's what he's doing personally, but you know,
No, I think you should have time to upload the game to Steam. I think it was just a happy coincidence. I think it was just like, hey, you know what? That came at the perfect time. We just got lucky. Because I know you need to talk with Steam whenever you release such a big product beforehand. And you do need to make sure everything is in line. So I don't think they specifically did that to just kind of capitalize on the new world player. Or maybe they saw the trend and that the game was dying and they kind of aimed toward that. That could be true.
I think this is going to backfire.
But I think it was just a happy coincidence.
People are going to think I have some kind of like beef with Steven. I don't like Steven. I think he's a piece of shit or whatever else. Or I don't like the game. I hate the game. I don't care about any of this shit. None of this is personal for me. I don't even dislike Steven. I've spoke to Steven numerous times over the years.
Sure, why would you?
But I absolutely have no fucking personal beef with anybody involved in this at all. But I will say Steven is going to take a lot of this to heart, and this is going to be very negative for him and people on the team, which is unfortunate. It always sucks being me. Like, oh, woe is me again. But it always sucks having like some kind of personal interaction with these human beings and knowing that they're human.
But this is what you need to take into consideration when you make yourself a public figure. When you go on to so many streamers stream and you introduce yourself and you hype a lot of people around your game, you're bound to suffer some consequences. It is what it is. I put myself online, and whenever I make a controversial video, I don't go like, oh, why people disagree with me? No. I fully accepted the consequences of my actions. I know that if I have a controversial take, I'm gonna get a lot of comments that disagree with me. The most recent example is the video I've uploaded like 2 or 3 days ago about Path of Exile 2. I talked about what I would like to see in the game change for the better as a new player, and a lot of people seem to disagree with me, which is completely fine. As long as you're not being toxic, we'll always welcome on this channel a healthy discussion, for sure. But this is some of the things that I took myself as, you know, putting myself online, right? So Steven can't go like, oh, well, people are mean to me. If you chose this path, you could have stayed silent. You could have just funded the game by your own, as you said multiple times, and then everything would have been fine. If the game was good, it was good. If it was bad, it was bad. Nobody really cared. But you made yourself a public figure, and you need to suffer the backlash and the consequences.
And interfacing with them sounds like a very human thing to say, right? Interfacing with the human beings. And then making videos like this, knowing full well this is going to hurt. Like, hearing this is going to hurt. The backlash from this, the response from this is going to hurt those real humans that I have some form of connection to. And I know Steven, at the moment, is not doing super well with criticism, because you can see here,
He never had.
a lot of armchair developers
Never.
going on here with the full embrace of Dunning-Kruger
What?
effect to boot. I get people are not happy with their expectations of phase 3, blah, blah, blah. What I want to highlight is somebody prominent in the community responded to him and said, brother, let's not forget it's your first time doing this. With all due respect, you are in fact still learning, and while we are here with you on it, you can't come at people like that, especially in your own Discord. You, not us, chose the open development model. Love
Yep.
heart.
Absolutely.
Reasonable thing to
Fact.
say. That maybe years ago would have been met with silence at the minimum, or like, yeah, you're right. Steven banned this guy and responded, I can actually love heart. And
Oh my god, based cigar. That's a based cigar moment. Dude, it is dumb. You shouldn't have do this, like, for sure. But this is a based cigar moment. You have to admit. Oh my god, what a guy. What a guy. He even gave him the heart. Nice.
banned him.
Okay, that's actually funny.
For what he just posted. He did get unbanned, and the guy said all matters were settled, blah blah blah. Grace was extended in both directions. We move forward amicably. But you can
Dude,
tell, like,
so random.
this wouldn't have happened years ago, and Steven is probably getting bogged down in the you know, the weight of the community, so to speak, especially with now people turning on him. And this is obvious, because a lot of the content creators that started covering Ashes, they're all gone. They've all made their exit videos saying essentially fuck Ashes, we're done.
Of course, because you can't drag a game for this long. You can't make content about it. Now, I think that it's unfortunate that as a content creator, you made your channel based on Ashes of Creation, because that's just a foolish thing to do from the start. But still, it's understandable, man. There are a lot of frustrations, and there's a lot going on there. Because you can't just be expected to be bitten with the stick for so long and just stay obedient. You have to get something for, you know, your coverage, right? I mean, please, just release the game. For the love of God. Bottom line, that's what I'm trying to say.
The game is doing X,
Give us
Y,
the
and Z
product.
wrong, don't agree with these decisions, and moved on. A lot of them are just not around anymore, and this will continue to happen. This is what's happening in the community with players as well. And years of this is going to get you down. I know this because I've fucking dealt with it as a YouTuber for 5 years. It's not for everybody. And in fact, even the most fucking robust of personalities will absolutely be impacted by this. But having said that, with the game releasing on Steam, expect for this and what you're experiencing, the negativity within the community, the negativity to personally Steven, is going to magnify by 1,000-fold. This is not going to release to like positive reviews. This is not going to release to a bunch of people reasonably coming in and saying, oh, I've looked at this, it's a very nuanced topic, and here's my balanced opinion as an adult. They're going to come in, they're going to say, what the fuck have I just paid for? This is dog shit. Oh my god, it's a scam. Why? It's an MMO. I can't get my... Another thing, by the way, they're going to be using Steam's refund policy for this game. So previously, if you bought Ashes of Creation, you could get a very reasonable refund for the game after testing enough of an MMORPG, an unfinished MMORPG.
Maybe their hope is that people will test it for so many hours that Steam will not allow them their refund. Maybe that's like their initial hopes. And I can totally see this happening, because in an MMO, to get you even started, it takes like multiple hours to even realize what you're playing. So yeah, I think they're mostly counting on that. And I really hope that Gabe will turn on like generous refunds like they did with Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk, when it released, it was in such an unplayable state that not only it was pulled from, I believe, PlayStation, I think it was also pulled from Steam, and you would and you were liable to get a full refund after like a couple of days of playing. So it was crazy. Gabe was truly generous with the refund policy when it came to this specific game, and I hope he will do the same thing with Ashes.
But they're going to be using the Steam one if you buy on Steam. So some fucking Timmy is going to load up Steam and be like, oh, new MMORPG. I've just quit New World because New World's fucked and closing down.
It's dead.
I'll buy this.
Rip.
Oh, it's a bit rough early, but it's an MMO. I've got to play at least 50 hours to figure out whether or not I like it. And then they're going to get like 5 or 6 hours in and be like, this is fucked. It's buggy. It's fucking unfinished. There's not enough content. I don't like the game. Go to get a refund and they can't. And they've spent $40+. They're going to open it up and look at the cash shop and see all the skins for an unfinished game. Then they're going to Google Ashes of Creation. Who makes Ashes of Creation? Look at the social media posts. Oh, Stephen J. Sharif. He's a scammer. He's this. He's that. He's the biggest piece of shit in the world. This is all going to go badly. I've seen this a million times. This is exactly what's going to happen. It's a bad idea. The amount of short-term money you're going to get from this is absolutely not going to fucking compensate for the amount of negativity that's going to come from this.
Well, to be honest, I think he's wrong here. I think that if you would release a good finished product, everything would be forgiven. Everything. I truly believe that. And we've seen that with the game in the past that a lot of people talk negative about, right? We saw it with Marvel Rivals. A lot of people said, oh, it's NetEase, it's going to be bad, it's going to be scummy. But then they ended up releasing a really good product and the entire tone just shifted. So if somehow, by God grace, Ashes of Creation do release early and it's going to be good and playable and in a viable state, people are going to forgive everything.
In my opinion. Could be totally wrong. But yeah, that's my whole opinion on this. I don't think I've got anything left to say, to be honest. I could go check my notes, but I think we'll leave it there. I'm sure
that's a good idea.
The fucking more diehard enclave.
I just go rambling and sound like an idiot, and usually it works for me. Well, not really, because my channel sucks, but hey, you know what? In the future, I just started a new thing. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know.
So the Ashes of Creation cultists are going to come and do what they usually do on this one. But for people who actually think I'm not like some kind of evil hater liar about Ashes and I hate Steven or blah, 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 I don't care about the game. I've not thought Ashes was the second coming of Jesus Christ like people have been saying for years. If the game comes out and it does well, cool. If it doesn't, I didn't spend any money on it. I never would have spent any money on it. I don't care.
Smart.
I'm not trying to earn money off of Ashes of Creation.
Smart.
Like, I stopped using my code specifically for this years ago, like in like 2021, 2022. Maybe even before that. When this game releases on Steam, I will. But 2021 was just 1 year ago. I'll play the game. I'll give it all. I'll go in with an open mind, a blank slate, and I'll really try my best to be objective about it and look at the game for what it is. But who knows? Maybe the game's much better than I've been led to believe, and I'm going to come out and say, oh, actually, if it gets much better than this, it'll be amazing. But it's already great, and it's already worth the box price right now. And actually, the cosmetics in the cash shop are fine. This is all okay for an unreleased game. I doubt it.
Wait, and didn't they say it's going to have subscription-based theme? I mean the subscription model. Have they changed that? They went back on it, or what's going on with that?
Well, there we go. Overall, this comes down to a simple question at the end of it: is Ashes of Creation a scam? I don't think so, personally. There's tons of people working at the company being paid to make what they believe to be the next big MMORPG. Yeah.
It's not a scam. The game will probably see release, but it's just really, really greedy. That's the right word for it.
And if we could prove that Steven is all the bad things that people say he is on social media, that still wouldn't make the game suddenly turn into a scam. Look at that. But I do feel...
Bro, look at his gameplay. This is what you got in 8+ years of development. This is it. Single developers have done more than that. In a fraction of the time that you had. How is this all you managed to pull off? The most basic of UI and the most choppy, laggy gameplay imaginable. This looks disgusting. It is... wow.
I feel like it's important to point out I don't like a lot of what Steven does with Ashes. I think it makes no sense at all when Steven claims they don't need money, it's totally funded, and then at every turn try to nickel and dime the community with FOMO cosmetics and hundreds of dollars on alpha and beta access. I think Steven tried to cash in on the Battle Royale hype with Apocalypse all those years ago, and he's now trying to cash in on the heat death of the MMORPG world with this Steam release. I don't think the overall development of the game is a scam, as many people on social media do. Nor do I think Steven's the worst person on the planet who did all these horrible things, because we simply can't know unless there's some evidence out there I'm unaware of. I do understand if people don't trust him because of his days in an MLM and his family's background. That's a reasonable opinion. But there are plenty of things to actually criticize Ashes and Steven for that have nothing to do with his past and everything to do with the game currently. After so many years of development, the rhetoric around game funding, the constant selling of stuff in an unreleased game, the content creator program, and much, much more. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Oh yeah, and check out my affiliate, GamerSup, so you can go buy some...
So this seems to be the end of the video, and yeah, I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you guys can watch it, give it a like and a sub for yourself if you haven't already. Great video, good analysis, like honestly, just spot on. And yeah, I mean, what else can I say, really? I pretty much said everything that I think about this game. I think that it's super greedy. It's just super greedy that Steven is doing this, especially after claiming he can fund everything by himself. I have absolutely no idea why people are paying for it, but to be honest, I kind of do. People are so desperate for a new MMORPG that will get them hooked. Everyone wants to have the next WoW killer, and unfortunately, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And believe me, I'm a huge MMORPG fan. And like I said in my yesterday video about MMORPGs and how they suck right now, I have nothing to play that isn't over 20 years old at this point. And that's just unfortunate, because just like you, I want something new. I want something fresh. I want a completely new world where I can read the story, immerse myself in, and interact with a lot of people. And unfortunately, we just didn't get any of that. We didn't get any of that, and it seems like the Ashes of Creation dream is slowly falling apart. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. So this video turned out to be a really long one, but I love doing these from time to time. So make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.